Are you tired of dealing with noisy neighbors or unwanted sounds from above? Are you looking for a solution to soundproof your home or office space? Well, look no further, because in this video, we'll be discussing the best soundproof ceiling tiles on the market. Soundproof ceiling tiles are an essential component for creating a peaceful and quiet environment. They not only block out unwanted noise but also improve the acoustics of a room. In this video, we'll be showcasing the top soundproof ceiling tiles that you can install to achieve maximum noise reduction. By the end of this video, you'll have a clear understanding of the different types of soundproof ceiling tiles available, the features to consider when selecting the best option for your needs, and our top picks for the best soundproof ceiling tiles on the market. So sit back, relax, and let's dive into the world of soundproofing with the best soundproof ceiling tiles. Number 1. Armstrong Ultima Ceiling Tiles. These ceiling tiles from Armstrong have a CAC rating of 35 and an NRC rating of 0.75. As such, we can consider them to be high-performance acoustic ceiling panels. They have a smooth texture without any direction in the pattern. It's a minor feature, but it means you don't have to spend ages matching anything during the installation process. Perhaps a more important feature is that the tiles are mold and mildew resistant and can be washed. Speaking of, they're super easy to install. They fit standard 15/16 of an inch or 9/16 of an inch T-bar ceiling setups, and you don't need any glue or staples to fit them. You simply remove the old tiles and drop the new ones in place. The only real downside, and it's a minor one, is that you get 12 in a pack. While this will be fine for residential uses, replacing an entire office ceiling with them will get expensive fast. However, it's a standard pack size for ceiling tiles and is the price you pay for acoustical performance. Number 2. SOUNDSULATE Acoustical Drop Ceiling Tiles. The main reason I've selected these SOUNDSULATE tiles as my top pick for homes is that they're black. It might sound like a minor point, but if you're building a recording studio or home theater, the last thing you want is white ceiling tiles. Of course, they perform fairly well, too. They have an NRC rating of 0.7, putting them just behind the Armstrong tiles. Unfortunately, there isn't a CAC rating, but previous users regularly state they do the job well in home theaters and sound studios. These tiles use fiberglass sandwiched between fabric, so aren't as rigid as other ceiling tiles. While acoustically wise, they work fine. The only real downside is that they're not really ceiling panels. It's fairer to call them insulation tiles that you fit in a ceiling. However, it's not an issue in itself, as either way you can install them in a suspended ceiling frame. Number 3. Armstrong Cortega Ceiling Tiles. Much like my top pick above, these Armstrong ceiling tiles have pretty decent stats. The CAC rating is 33 and the NRC rating is 0.55. So, they're not as good, but this is because they're thinner tiles. You get 16 tiles in a pack, which covers 64 square feet. They'd be a budget-friendly solution for offices because you could cover a larger area than with the Ultima tiles and still get decent noise reduction. They have a fissured texture that some might not like. It doesn't have an impact on performance, it's purely about looks. However, in commercial buildings, few people probably care about the ceiling's texture. The only vaguely negative thing to say about these tiles is the damage they can do to your cutting device. One reviewer mentioned that they wore down a circular saw blade installing the tiles. So, I recommend buying a box of craft knife blades and simply throwing them away after a few cuts. Number 4. Armstrong Dune Ceiling Tiles. This list might seem dominated by Armstrong tiles, but it's because they make a good product. These ones are no exception and strike a good middle ground between the Ultima and Cortega. They have a CAC rating of 35, same as the Ultima, and an NRC of 0.5, slightly lower than the Cortega. You get the same number in a pack as the Cortega, meaning they cover the same area. Other than performance, the biggest difference is the texture. Rather than being fissured, they're textured like standard drop ceiling tiles. As such, it'd be really easy to match them into existing ceiling tiles if you need to. Again, installation and fits are the same as the other models. They feature HumiGuard, which gives them mold and mildew resistance. The only real downside is that, like the Cortega tiles, these will blunt your cutting instrument quickly. Number 5. Ceilume Acoustical Ceiling Tiles. With a CAC rating of 14, these tiles from Ceilume aren't as good as the Armstrong tiles above. That said, they'll be better than standard ceiling tiles, so will be worthwhile if you're on a budget. Part of this is because they use vinyl rather than mineral fiber. Generally, vinyl falls under the soundproofing principle of mass, but a 0.013 inches sheet of vinyl in a ceiling tile can't really be considered high mass. Also, Due to the material, the product's NRC and STC ratings are 0.25 and 10, respectively. Second, you get 14 tiles in a pack, which cover 56 square feet. Some reviewers state that they feel a bit flimsy, but this shouldn't matter too much once they're installed in a suspended ceiling. Others appreciate that there's no mineral fiber residue from cutting and installing, though, and this is definitely another big advantage.